Greetings and salutations, fans of Dota 2. It is once again Badger, once again bringing you some League of Legends Season 6 action. I'm here again, this time for a series between the 5 average dudes and Marty Chang Slayers. And it should be a pretty close matchup. Looking over at the records for the two teams, let's pull those up real fast. So we got Marty Chang Slayers, who are on the dire, currently are 3 and 7. Gonna make the text a little bit smaller this time. And on the rating, we have 5 average dudes who are 6 and 8. Okay, let's just go over and put those there. Okay, perfect. See, this is production value. This is what you come for. A little bit of text on the screen, but looking over at the actual heroes, we do have Enigma Monkey King banned and OD Mars being banned. Obviously, very strong heroes. We'll see 5 average dudes open up their draft with a Rubik, who will presumably be a support hero. Marty Chang Slayers respond with a Spirit Breaker, who will be their 4, I'm assuming. And then 5 average dudes pick an Undying, who should be their 5, leading into that Spirit Breaker. And if Marty Chang Slayers pick up a 5 here, we'll see all the supports picked, assuming it's a Rubik 4, which is the most likely position for him to be in this draft. Though, I would expect him to probably go for some different role of hero. Wouldn't be shocked if they try to get some core hero off the board now, and they have 3 bans to ban afterwards. But they'll be up to Jorik of Marty Chang Slayers, who I'm sure is discussing the draft right now with his team over in their war room. Regardless, though, outside of this game, for those who are fans of me having a co-caster, I am gonna have co-caster tomorrow night. That'll be I suppose in that sense an improvement, because for those bits of time, especially during the draft, where it's, how can I fill time? Awesome to fill time with me. But now, speaking of things to fill time, actual stuff on the screen. We have Juggernaut being picked. Actually, was a core hero being picked as somewhat expected, as I said earlier. Not sure where the Jug's going to be just yet, but it will almost, I'm not going to say certainly, but it's extremely likely it will be the safe lane carry for Marty Chang Slayers. Is generally the place the Jug goes. Obviously, he hypothetically can play middle lane, can play off lane, given the right lane situation. Either way, though, we are now into this second phase of bans. Beastmaster being banned, Grimstroke being banned, Troll Warlord being banned, and Slark being banned. So we've already chewed out 4 of these 6 second phase bans. A little excited to see what exactly we end up seeing here for this next pick phase. At this point, if you're Marty Chang Slayers, you have to start thinking about what can we lane with this this Rubik to beat a Jug. They might see the entire dire safe lane, though. I wouldn't be surprised if Marty Chang Slayers pick their 5 here. That means if they pick their 5, they have a chance to counterpick both the carry and the safe lane support with their pick. And obviously, what they pick offlane will be dependent on exactly what will be the lane matchup, though there are some Jug counters hypothetically still in the pool. They can just go purely tanky heroes if they want to just try to tank through the damage in the lane and tank through the damage in the mid game. A hero like Underlord is not banned if that's on the mind for them. They could potentially be thinking BKB piercing stuff. I mean, obviously Beastmaster is banned, but Axe still is in the pool. Batrider is still in the pool, though laning Batrider to Jug is probably a death sentence, given its Jug is a very easy way to purge off the napalm charges, so. Regardless, we are looking over. It's actually interesting. I'm seeing a nice little delta of reserve time being formed here. Marty Chang Slayers have already used about half their reserve time. While 5 average dudes still have a 2-minute and 10-second reserve time bank left. Maybe I might be over-implying by saying that they're ready, but still. Looks like 5 average dudes seem to be very prepared in this drafting phase. Is my Twitch working? Alright, my Twitch appears to be working. I'm just going to double check that real fast. Either way, second phase of bans. Oh, it's live. Okay, we're good. It's been live for a few minutes. It's had some issues on my secondary monitor. But as expected, Marty Chang Slayers do pick the 5, and 5 average dudes respond with a tiny. Question today is, where are they going to put that tiny? Is it going to be a 3-roll core? Is it going to be a middle lane core? Could it be possibly a 4 with the Rubik middle? I'm going to assume it's going to be the 3, because from a draft perspective, it makes the most sense. You see both the Jug and you see the CM. It's like, alright, we're going to pick this Tiny, I guess. We can lane Tiny Rubik into Jug CM, hopefully fight well there. A little bit surprised, would have almost expected the Lich to be picked there instead of Crystal Maiden, but obviously Crystal Maiden has that mana aura the Lich does not provide. So the lane would be weaker than if there was a Lich in that lane. Perhaps they're thinking bigger picture and not just the laning phase up against this Rubik Tiny. Saying, you know what, it's a Jug, should be able to farm just fine into that Rubik Tiny anyways. CM will do her best in the lane. Might be a rough lane, but I'm sure Redondo will do his best on that Crystal Maiden regardless. Ay, ay, ay. We're actually at a really low reserve time for Marty Chang Slayers. They are looking at core heroes here, whether it be their mid or their offlane. Probably will be their offlane, though. Yeah, they picked the Brewmaster. But for 5 average dudes now, they're in a great position to counter that Brewmaster with a carry pick of their own. So, should be interesting to see what they're thinking about carries that are still available. I mean, obviously, heroes like Troll, Jug, pretty obvious picks there. Both are banned. Ricky is still available if that's on the mind for them. I actually don't think I've ever seen that lane, actually, but instead they'll opt for picking their middle laner here, they'll pick their Void Spirit. They say, you know what, you can counter pick it now, it doesn't really matter, you only have one pick regardless. We'd rather not have Void Spirit be banned out in this ultimate ban phase of the game. Instead of risking it being banned out, we can pick our carry later, hoping that Marty Chang Slayers won't just ban out the carry that they're thinking about. But speaking of carries who are not banned, I mean, Wraith King's not banned, Ricky is not banned. A lot of their very strong carries are banned, but they always could go for a, like a second tier sort of carry. Or they could go for a hero that I know one of their players would be very happy to see, and that would be Terrorblade. I'm not sure how Terrorblade would do this game, but they have a... I'm thinking of different teams, my bad. Regardless, Terrorblade has seen some play in League of Lads. I don't think 5 average dudes actually have picked Terrorblade, but we have seen some Terrorblade this season. Is that Killer? Huh? Regardless, though, there are some carries still in the pool. Not sure what they're thinking about laning into this Brewmaster Spiritbreaker lane, but they certainly need a sort of hero that can get run at, because Spiritbreaker and Brewmaster are going to run at you, so you have to need a hero who can manfight, which is probably a tough thing to ask for. Typically a hero who can be run at and not lose your Dota game instantly. Wouldn't be shocked if they pick Wraith King. Seems like a somewhat obvious pick in terms of just being able to possibly turn a manfight with the stun, possibly being able to recover in the later stages of the game with just buying a Radiance, having Reincarnate, possibly... Ooh, that's a good ban by Marty Chang Slayers. That would have been a good Wraith King pick. Regardless, though, 5 average dudes, they got plenty of reserve time to think it out. They have 2 minutes of reserve time, so they can contemplate all they want. And they're fast on the pick, though. They picked the Morphling instead. It's a nice little ranged hero to lane there into that Brewmaster and Spiritbreaker. Obviously has some pretty cool stuff to steal via his morph this game. Can possibly go for an allied hero with the Agonist, but it's probably going to end up being an enemy hero. Could be that Jug for both the Healing Ward and the Spin. Could be something more unusual if he's thinking about, I don't know, Spiritbreaker to use as a for a charge, but it probably just ended up being the Jug in terms of what he ends up morphing in the fights. So now for Marty Chang Slayers, they have very little time left. They have to go, and they'll pick the Death Prophet. So they're like, all right, we're gonna pick a nice little conservative middle lane hero, somebody who can lane well into his Void Spirit, somebody who can push very well, somebody who our team can group around in terms of timing window stuff. So. Look at that Redondo's team he's tagged at as in-game, and that's a team I'm actually pretty familiar with. That's me and Redondo's former RD2L team. I believe RD2L Season 15 team? So that's a team name I'm pretty familiar with. That was the Badger, Redondo, Nutty Pizza, Nickel team that's did not turn out very well, but it was a fun time. It's a fun time anyways. Regardless, so looking at these drafts, I think for 5 average dudes, this draft makes a lot of sense for them. Obviously, they need to give some space for PMA to get online, but I think they have the right heroes to make space for PMA to get online on that Morphling. I think Void Spirit should have a pretty good game. Probably will go like Yules into either Ags or whatever kind of item he wants. I think the person to watch though in terms of who's going to win this lane, in terms of the game, is going to be the Beast of US East on that Tiny. I'm actually unsure of how well he's going to do on this Tiny. I think looking at him would be a good way to tell how this game is going to go. I think if he has a good lane, he's able to take over the game with like an early Blink Dagger, make a lot of space for PMA. This game should go well for Fire Edge dudes. If he suffers in the lane, gets run down by Jug repeatedly, then it's a very good look for Marty Chang's Slayers. Either way though, if you missed who's playing what earlier, got some stuff right over here. I have some intelligence. I've been told to, if I want less of a mouthful, I can always use the name Neff for peripheral instead, so I will try to call him Neff, because obviously that's a lot easier to say than peripheral. I'll probably forget, though, about 4 minutes into this game. Regardless, though, let's look over at some wards. One on Rubik, we got one on Void Spirit, already early lord up by Jork, and then we got one on Jinx. Looking over an item to see if there's anything interesting. Not the stats. So Ring Protection on peripheral. He's expecting to get hit a lot by this DP, which makes sense. Obviously, the Void Spirit is a melee hero, so he'll get hit by the DP repeatedly. So early Sentry on Notorious, but there actually is no ward in this lane, it appears. At least not yet. And there's one by Jinx. Okay, Jinx already has placed the ward, actually, so it's very deep. That'll be for Notorious to find out when his camp is blocked, obviously. Redondo does have a Sentry as well, so he can also de-ward when the time comes. There are 2 Radiant heroes bottom lane. They are running forward, but there are 3 Dire heroes here as well, so they'll probably look to trade here, or at least try to get something out of this. Top lane, Tiny's very far positioned forward. They'll try to speed on this rune, possibly. Alright, we'll be the rune to Tiny top lane and the Brewmaster bottom. Pole actually is taking a little bit of damage top lane, but with that 3-man Crystal Nova from Redondo, wait, that's a good Spirit there from the Void Spirit, taunting the Jug back, but they're... Actually, they have Fable, they might just dive this. Alright, it's a slight lack of damage. Very close to the kill. They actually get the salve there from Crystal Maiden. Jug did not have a salve, but thanks to his buddy Redondo, he will be A-okay. We'll have just enough regen to be back to full health or so. One thing I didn't mention, though, is that it's going to be Undying laning to 2 different Strength Arrows. Obviously, Brewmaster, Strength Arrow, Spirit Breaker, Strength Arrow, so certain opportunity there for Notorious to get a lot of damage with those decays. Get very strong and really possibly ruin the day of these Strength Arrows. As per usual, seeing some brawling in the top lane. Some Rubik on Crystal Maiden in action. The sort of thing you see a lot. Sure, a lot of damage being done by Jork in the mid lane. White Spirit's very low here. Has a Fairy Fire. Yeah, Jork's not even going to go for that, though. Preempt the Fairy Fire just in case. But he's going to need some regen sent to him. Jork doing some more damage, but nothing just yet in terms of kills. There's a spin top lane if Polo wants to go. Polo will be almost certainly waiting for level 3 for his level 2 spin. Huge spike in damage, obviously, so we'll want to wait that out. Look at the numbers. Yeah, it's a big difference in numbers. There's actually a smoke purchase by Notorious. Might be thinking deep into the future in terms of, alright, I want to be involved early. Possibly get involved with a Rubik gank or something. Obviously the Undying, not the greatest soul ganker in the world, but he's thinking be aggressive all game. Thinking I'm going to make space for this Morphling, that is my goal in this world. I want to win this Dota game. Which makes sense. It is good to win Dota games. And Notorious probably will lose his courier, unless there's some very good body blocking by Notorious, but eventually Jinx should get this courier. Yeah, he will get it. I don't know if there are any items on this. I don't think there are any items. I think PMA got his items. So Notorious made sure PMA got his items thanks to that play. So that's a nice little heads-up play there by Notorious. Once again, thinking about the Morphling, enable my Morphling's game. Literally block for the courier. They're going top lane after Redondo. There's a Spirit Breaker TPing in. Is it in time? It actually is in time. They're not going onto the Tiny. The Beast of US East taking a lot of damage. Toss is there. Redondo is low, but it will be a first blood drawn by Redondo. The target of the 2-man aggression ended up being man getting the first blood there on the Tiny, so good turnaround there. Good heads-up play by Jinx to TP in. Helps save his Crystal Maiden. In middle lane, peripheral, Neff taking a lot of damage here. He needs one more hit, but he does have that. Actually, it's enough from the Spirit Step. A good kill there by Jorik. That's a great start for his lane. Yeah, at this point, this actually, it's a very good start to the game there for Marty Chang Slayers. They have a kill in the top lane thanks to that TP. They have a kill in the mid lane thanks to an outplay. It's a great situation there. And only problem is looking at bottom lane. Bottom lane is going very, very well there for 5 average dudes. Morphling 18 and 4. Brewmaster only 8 and 1. With the Spirit Picker not even really being in this bottom lane, I guess they're just letting him suffer. Seems to be what's happening here. There's a poll in my Twitch. How do you make a poll? Either way, not important. We're seeing a bit of polls being done by the Radiant in the bottom lane. Some more fun stuff happening. Some spells being thrown out top lane, but Paul will be absolutely fine here. There's not really any threat of a kill just yet. At least not until there's more spells off cooldown. And with the healing word being popped, he'll be a-okay. He's pretty low on regen though, so he'll be a little bit careful of stuff. Haste Rune was grabbed by Spirit Breaker, trying to deny it away from that Void Spirit. Remnant was used hunting him back. Can they find a kill? It will be difficult, but it is still possible. They are here on this dive. There's Crypt Swarm in 3. They have one more Spirit Step in charge if they want to go for it. And with that Crypt Swarm, Jorik will pick up another kill onto this Void Spirit. Once again, very good play so far by Jorik. And once again, good play by Jinx. Top lane, look for Redondo. They need more damage, however. CB, lacks mana and cooldowns. They're going now onto this Tiny. They once again kill the Beast of US East via that spin of Polo. Now they go to CB. Jinx is charging in. Courier is here, has brought some stuff, but the stuff will not save him from that death. Another death by 5 average dudes, and 5 average dudes currently at 5 deaths around the 5-minute mark. It is not a great time, unless you're a fan of number 5. Got a lot of coincidences there with the number 5, but still. Runes being secured. It looks like it will be 2 for 2. Notorious. Wait a minute. Jorik should grab this one, actually. So it'll be 3 runes for 1. Yeah, Jorik does battle up in time. Notorious simply TPing away back to his tier 1 tower. Not dying there. Overall, though, for Marty Chang Slayers, it is a great start to this game. They are up already by 2,000 gold. That's already a good time. PMA. A lot's going to be on his back this game. We've seen a lot in a lot of these 5 average dudes games. We see some good play being done in these other lanes. We're seeing a lot of times Beast of US East goes off, gets a lot of space. He's able to make a lot of space for him, but this game, probably not going to happen. He's off to a very rough laning phase. Only 20 last hits. Already at 0 and 2, so for PMA, it's going to be a hard game. Look forward to seeing how Fire Dudes plays around this fact. It's like, alright, we're losing both of other lanes, and our win condition is Morphling. How do we enable our win condition? Looking over at Jinx, he is once again charging the mid lane. Is still a 5 on Void Spirit. He does have the Dissimulate, but he is still being run down. We'll head into the tier 2 tower sort of area. But Jorik once again pops that Siphon as Crypt Swarm in 3. Should be a 3rd kill onto Peripheral, onto Neff, and will find it. And with that Exorcism, he will do some damage onto that mid tower. And over to top lane, Beast of US East once again goes down. Was killed by the spin and the various spells of Crystal Maiden. Back to middle lane, they're once again diving. Torres tries to TP, the charge cancels it. A double kill for Jorik. And 2 kills once again enabled by Jinx. Jinx is everywhere. This man is literally everywhere but the bottom lane, I should say. He's not in the bottom lane anymore. He's accepted. You know what, bottom lane? Who cares about bottom lane? If I can win my top lane and win my middle lane, this man is putting on a very good performance right now in terms of winning those 2 lanes. It's a fantastic start for Marty Chang Slayers, but can they keep it? It is a 3k gold lead, so pretty significant lead. Void Spirit is now 6, so he adds a nice little power spike. They are charging him once again, but that will get cancelled by the 8th of Remnant, though it would have been cancelled by simply a stop command. That's a very hard dive to make. At this point, we're looking at a straight 1v1 bottom. Never mind, Notorious is headed back to bottom lane, but he seemed to be relatively okay with the position that PMA's in. He is a leader in that last hits. I'm sure he's close to leader in net worth. Yeah, he's close to leader in net worth, but so now they're rotating supports away from this bottom lane. Obviously, it's still a CB playing top lane. They currently have Notorious sitting around middle lane. Tried for a D ward here, ended up missing it. Is now stacking this camp. is running into Jork. He does have TP up, but he is looking to fight. He's taking a lot of damage from that Spirit Siphon. The second charge is used. There's a charge in by Jinx. Can it kill Notorious? The answer is yes. Another kill there by the Marty Chang Slayers. And so far, I mean, it's 0 kills on the board for the 5 average dudes. They are down 0 kills to 9. In this middle lane and in this top lane, they are repeatedly dying. I mean, looking over at the scoreboard, everybody but PMA has died. And both the cores in both the middle lane and the top lane have died 3 times. It is not a great start so far. Top lane, they're once again going up the Beast of US East. The charge is canceled by CB, but they still have enough damage. Wait, oh yeah, with the Omni Slash, it will be enough damage. But can they get a counter kill? Notorious has rotated in, has decay in just 4 seconds, but they appear to lack the damage. There is a Neff. He is TPing in on Void Spirit. They're looking for some kind of counter kill, looking to get onto this board. Looking at their vision, they see 2 in the lane, but they know Jinx is here somewhere. Alright, they're going now onto the Spirit Breaker. They're dropping everything onto him. They get at least 1 kill. The Tombstone is there as well. It will die to Redondo, and they will get Notorious as a counter kill on top of that Tombstone. It is a mega kill streak for Jork as he has TP'd into the top lane. But who's also back is the Tiny. They're on Redondo. The Toss Avalanche is there. They do enough damage. He goes down. And Jork simply staying around there with the Exorcism still up, but with it going down, they will probably have to back here. Peripheral is looking, has the remnants, will not throw it out just yet though. Meanwhile, bottom lane, there was a Primal Split used. I'm assuming because he thought he was going to die to this Morphling, so he had to use it just to not die. There's a charge, but that'll be canceled by the Strength Adaptive Strike. Is there a name for that? The Strength Adaptive Strike. Alright, I was accurate on the name. Looking over at the runes. Looks like it'll once again be 3 for 1, but this time 3 for 1 in favor of 5 average dudes rather than Marty Chang Slayers. There's an illusion rune for this Undying, but obviously not too much consequence with that. I mean, hit a rain tree, didn't get a last hit with it. Stowed a 2 for you. Looking over at net worth now, I mean, Death Prophet Jork, 5-0 kill death-wise. He also won his lane, so makes sense that he is on top. Behind him is PMA, who is the leader in last hits. Not too far behind are the other cores of Marty Chang Slayers, followed by the other cores of 5 average dudes. And then, as expected, Marty Chang supports, followed by the 5 average dudes supports. Polo is already working a little bit into this jungle. He has a Mithril Hammer on the way, I believe. Yeah, there's a Mithril Hammer on that courier. So he's working on a Maelstrom. We'll likely go Maelstrom into Manta this game. Hope to see what he goes for exactly, but regardless, 5 average dudes saying, you know what, we have this siege unit, we can start working on this top lane tower. They have a lot of damage here. Redondo and Jinx are on the defense. They did charge in onto those creeps. Even up the Tombstone here. Polo does rotate in, has that Omni Slash. May look for something. He does spin, trying to kill the Tombstone, and will not get it just yet thanks to that Soul Rip. They never strike onto Notorious. They want the kill and the Tombstone. Tombstone goes down. Notorious goes down. And it's another kill onto this Undying. Certainly only Undying in name this game. He currently is 0-4, but that seems to be what happens sometimes on your Undying games. And now, Marty Chang Slayers, they are now in this top lane with 4 different players. They're dewarding this high ground area, and they're popping the Exorcisms and go on this top tier 1 tower. Glyph is popped. We'll hold the tower for a little bit, but they're staying focused. They really want to grab this tower. However, Notorious is TPing in again. It will once again be 3 heroes on the defense. Jinx does charge in. Hits 2 with that charge. He's being brought under tower. He actually ends up going down there to this Void Spirit. Or sorry, to this Rubik, thanks to the Fable, I believe. Now PMA has TP'd in. Void Spirit is here as well. It's a 5 on Redondo fight, and of course the 5 do kill Redondo. And Polo should be fully on the retreat. Should be able to get away here from this Void Spirit. Void Spirit is still going forward. He is scouting out these stacks with Jork and Polo both in the area. Contesting those stacks is going to be quite difficult. Though perhaps after this tier 1 tower top, they might just rotate onto this camp right here to kill it. Yeah, Peripheral already working on it right now, doing a lot of damage with that Astral Step. He actually can solo kill with stack up area. That's actually a very huge stack kill. It's a lot of gold that they're going to miss here. Apollo will spin for the rest of it. More importantly, bottom lane, they are going on CB, and Airstrike is there, Brewmaster is there. They are still diving this tower. He's very low on Rubik, and Rubik will go down. Back to top lane. They appear to try to go into this Void Spirit, but they seem to be also unable to kill him, considering he is actively alive right now. But yeah. Firebridge dudes did get the Dire safe lane tower, and now Marty Chang Slayers are pretty working on the Radiant safe lane tower bottom. But with Notorious TPing in and more heroes with TPs available quite soon, this should be a fairly easy tower defense. As expected, Void Spirit is going for this Yule Scepter this game. Obviously has a lot of stuff to get out of between this nice little Frostbite ability, nice little Silence ability. There's a lot of good stuff to purge off with Yules in terms of things that ruin a Void Spirit's game. Speaking of Yule Scepters, looking over at Jork on that Death Prophet, he has one of his own. So he's also looking to be Cyclone in this game. Looking over at Radiant Vision, I'm not sure how much they know, but there's a charge in from Jinx. They will now know what's going on. Notorious, though, is still alive, does not have mana for Tombstone, and will go down to Omni Slash. Polo is deep under tower, the Astral Remnant is there. They're looking to kill him off now, and Juggernaut does go down. It's a very important kill. Freezing Field is dropped, doing very little damage, and now they're once again trying to go there. They have the Brewmaster split, they kill the Void Spirit, they kill the Tiny, and now they're going to kill this Tier 1 tower. And for Marty Chang Slayers, despite losing Polo, they have to be quite happy with that tower kill, and with the absolute bounty of hero kills they got there. Oh my god, fix overlay. Okay, that's a very good call. I did not know it was still on, my bad. Either way, though, that is now off. Dear lord, that's embarrassing. Either way, though, we are looking at... I'm laughing about that one. Bargoffs, they had a very good team fight there, very good tower kill afterwards, and they're picking up some very key items thanks to having that fight win. We have a Blink Dagger on Brewmaster. Looking at more items on this Jug. Actually, he's going for an S and Y this game rather than a Manta. Tiny is in this mid lane, looking to be aggressive, but doesn't have a Blink Dagger of his own just yet. Had he have had that, perhaps might have been a kill on Jork, but it is still obviously not the easiest kill in the world. He has 1.7k HP with those Strength Threads. And now, looking over at the middle lane, Firebridge dudes are headed for this Tier 1 tower middle. The glyph is popped, so their siege unit should die. Never mind, Notorious is keeping it alive, but now it will finally die. Jork will dissuade them from keeping their siege unit alive, apparently. Looking over at hero net worth, though. PMA has become the net worth leader, is slightly ahead of Jork. In comes Tiny, has that Blink Dagger, looking for a kill, did not find one just yet. The Tombstone is dropped. Jork taking a lot of damage, but he's still alive. He will use the team trying to defend him with the Freezing Field and the Jug. Can they bring him down? The answer is no. The Tombstone does go down. Jinx charges in, will hit 2 on the charge. Looking for PMA, will he go down? He waveforms away. Stun on 5 with that Avalanche. Airstrike is there, but BCBOS East tosses him away. Airstrike will be onto the Tiny. They will find 2 kills, but importantly, they do not find PMA. They kept him alive. He almost died in that fight. There was another heads-up play by the Tiny to toss him away, but ultimately, rough fight there for Firebridge dudes. They revealed that Tiny Blink. They really wanted to get some kind of kill, and unfortunately for them, they found no kills. Jinx is top lane, does secure this top Tier 1 tower for his team, but might pay for it. Though with that urn, it's and the Brewmaster help, it is quite a hard kill to get. They appear to be thinking about it, but and they appear to be thinking now about PMA in that bottom lane. Exorcism is there, but as is Tiny. They blink Avalanche combo, but they don't kill DP just yet. Spirit Siphons are dropped, but Jork just goes down. It's a very important kill on Jork. But they still want to get PMA. He was Spirit Vessel, but he does simply waveform away. Now for Marty Chang Slayers, they are on the run. Tiny, once again, blinks in, looking for more. Avalanche is on to 2, does toss up Jinx back into his team, and he'll find another kill onto Jinx. So for what was an ambitious attempt onto that Morphling, well, it really didn't go too well. Resulted in 2 of their heroes dying instead. So a bit of a disaster there on that front. Either way, though, should be A-okay for Marty Chang Slayers. They will have their defenders of the tower alive quite soon. The problem is, will they be there to defend the tower? The answer appears to be no. Brewmaster has used that primal split. He is trying to go in there, but now Tiny's in the backgrounds. Look for Polo. Could not find Polo. They're now headed to Notorious. The spirit, all they, that's the dead, undying. Got destroyed there by the damage from those broodlings and that spirit siphon. So they do get a counter kill there on the Undying, but they still lose that tier 1 tower middle. Bit of a disastrous tower loss for them. But they're trying to keep the pressure up. They are headed to this bottom lane, possibly looking for the first tier 2 tower kill of the game. Bottom, they don't have that DP ulti exorcism up for another 48 seconds, but Fireworks dudes also really are not in the area of the map to defend it just yet. Alright, they are headed over now. Rubik is TPing, and they will have 4 on the defense, it appears. And Marty Chang Slayers are on the run. However, there is a smoke here by 5 average dudes. They may look for something, looking at vision. Dire appears to not particularly know what's going on here. Looking at Radiance, they don't see much either, but they have an idea based on what these creep camps are looking like. They're postured very defensively in this Radiant jungle, not jumping out just yet. And there will be no jump with this smoke, it appears. It has expired. It has expired peacefully at that, so. Alright, they're now charging onto Jinx with the stolen charge. The waveform is in. They're looking for the Spirit Breaker. He does not go down to the Morphling. In comes Brewmaster, blinks in with the throw of silence. Tiny blinks in, looking for a kill on DP. Cannot kill Jorg. In comes Jinx, once again charging through everything. Down goes Notorious, but Spirit Breaker will go down, but he was a distraction play, it appears. But can they get the Void Spirit? Is there more stuns? Is there more silences? Astral Step is there going away. In comes Mr. Tiny, goes in for Jorg, and they get him! With PMA waveforming back in, they kill the very important Death Outfit. Freezing Field is there, immediately cancelled there by Neff, so will be no kill there onto Redondo. Double kill by PMA. And for Marty Chang Slayers, not a great fight for them. They tried to go back in after they thought 5 average dudes are in a bad spot over here in this high ground area. They had a good blink in by the Brewmaster with the split, but the problem is they just couldn't kill anybody. And importantly, their DP simply could not stay alive. Took an absolute ton of damage early on from the blink in Tiny combo by the Beast of US East. And ended up dying again once Tiny once again re-engaged. And for them, they just need to kill somebody in these fights. Not sure who it's going to be just yet. Obviously are some tanky heroes. If they can find PMA as the ideal target, but the problem is they've had difficulties killing PMA this game. Considering, well, he hasn't died. And now for them, it's going to be relatively hard to keep him even locked down, because he has a Manta style. The silence will not be an option. It's going to have to be like a Spirit Breaker, Nether Strike or something, which is not the easiest thing in the game to do. So, at this point, killing PMA might not be a realistic option, which is a big problem, because PMA is the win condition still. Tiny goes in, they're on the Brewmaster's step, or some Remnants is there. They will find this Brewmaster. His killing spree is now over. PMA is now dominating. And for Marty Chang Slayers, they do still have a 9-kill lead, they do still have a 4K net worth lead, but it appears as though they are in the wrong spot in terms of game momentum. Morphling, he's getting large. His Void Spirit, he has an Aegis. They're getting very, very large. They are coming into their own in terms of their draft, and they are now headed towards this top tier 2, though Marty Chang Slayers will go for this bottom tier 2. It might just be a tier 2 for tier 2 tower trade. And that appears to be the way it's going. Both towers going down relatively quickly. Should be both towers dying relatively peacefully. Yeah, that is a dead top tier 2 tower. It's also a dead bottom tier 2 tower. Void Spirit is a little bit alone, but should be a-okay. There is no kill attempt on him just yet. And probably will not be one anytime soon. We are seeing Marty Chang Slayers. They are considering heading into this tri-camp area, it appears. They are drawing circles. I believe it was Jinx's circles. And we do see a smoke here from Fire Ridge dudes. They have an Invis Tiny, they have a smoked up Rubik. They may look to go on somebody, though they will be gone on themselves. There's a charging Spirit Breaker onto Notorious on that Undying. However, there is a bit of a turn. Never mind, they're simply letting Notorious die. It did not have enough to turn there. Tiny not wanting to commit into what could have been a bad team fight with their other two cores not in the position to fight on the map. And for Marty Chang Slayers, maybe they're saying, you know what, we don't care that you have a Aidlessly Immortal. We don't care that your Morphing's getting large. We can still outfight you guys. We can still posture aggressively. We have this DP to play around. She does have a BKB, which is now very important at countering these possible tiny initiations. So if Jor can stay alive in these team fights, she should have a relatively free reign on that Death Prophet. Speaking of items, PMA has finished that IS Scotty. Has about 1.6k HP despite being mostly Agimorphed, and Fire dudes, bit of miscommunication. They popped 2 smokes on accidents, but it's gonna be okay. They will head into this dire jungle area. What do they see? They don't see too much. They will drop that Observer. There's a blink in by Tiny onto 2, looking for Redondo, and they will also get the Brewmaster. Zombies Expert is dead. Redondo probably will die as well. They will lift him up. They will bring him down. 2 kills from that smoke, both caught in the avalanche of Tiny, and they appear to be at a middle for that mid-tier 2 tower now. However, Marty Chang Slayers are playing the map quite well. Jug is bottom. Spirit Breaker is top. So even if they do kill this mid-tier 2 tower, it is a relatively fine spot for Marty Chang Slayers to be in. They are bringing this wave all the way to the high ground bottom. And he will simply spin TP away. And Fire Ridge dudes to say, you know, we did get this tower, but we still need to do more. We're not necessarily winning this economy game just yet. Sure, PMA is very farmed, but everybody else, not very farmed. They are trying to start solving that on this Tiny and the Void Spirit by simply farming, but they are currently a bit into that poverty mode. Speaking of poverty mode, the Radiant supports, they are very poor. But it happens. That is just Dota 2 for you sometimes when you play Undying and Rubik. PMA might go for either a game-winning or a game-losing play. Result yet to be determined. He's very far forward with that DD rune. Has popped the Manta going at the Jorik. He will get Yules though. The DD is now purged. And with the healing ward down, it's going to be very hard to get anybody. Tiny tried to blink in for somebody, but somebody he did not find. And everybody is going to be a-okay. Even that healing ward was not killed by the Manta illusion, so I guess nothing is lost though. PMA simply tried to be a bit of a playmaker with the double damage rune. Could not find any kills though. We are seeing Jinx charging. He actually might die this time for this one. He's very, very far forward. And Fire Ridge dudes, they're in the area, but they simply cannot find him. Will be no kill onto this very annoying Spirit Breaker this game. Once again, Jinx drawing circles like, hey, I distracted them, they're all on me, they're in this circle. We can now farm this big circle. Obviously, much bigger circle to be farming. All is a-okay for them. And now, looking over at bottom, yeah, that tier 1 tower is just completely dead. Absolutely destroyed by the Tiny and the Morphling. And they appear to be going for more. They have 5 in this lane. Maybe they want this bottom tier 2 tower. However, they might take some damage on this top tier 2 tower in exchange. Glyph is popped by Marty Chang Slayers. But the defense is just not there. Simply they're buying time for Polo to take the mid-tier 2 tower of the Radiance. Should be in time for, they're thinking about it. They might just go in here. They're pinging it out. They want to kill this tower. And they will kill it. However, 5 average dudes are still in this bottom lane. They say, alright, we got the bottom tier 1 tower, they're not defending. Bottom tier 2 tower, not defending. So let's go for the bottom tier 3 tower. They'll eventually defend, right? Eventually. Tombstone is dropped. And PMA pops that Manta. Jork has come in there with that BKB. Trying to turn here, looking for Notorious. Will be a kill. Problem is, can they get more kills? The answer appears to be no. So if our average dudes, they trade an Undying in this lane for nearly 3 towers. This tier 3 tower is almost dead, so if they go high ground there in the near future, it should be a relatively easy tower to take. And they didn't really get much. They did not get much in exchange. They only got that mid tier 2 tower for it. PMA is looking for Jinx. It's not the easiest kill in the world, but he will be run down by this Scotty eventually. Yeah, PMA, good solo kill there. Did morph into Spirit Breaker. Has done that a few times this game for the mobility he can get with that charge. Either way, though, this game, it feels interesting because despite Marty Chang Slayers having this 6k lead, it doesn't really feel like they're ahead. What does Dota Plus say? Dota Plus does not agree with me. Dota Plus thinks Marty Chang Slayers are in a very strong spot. But I like the way the Fire dudes are playing. I think they're just playing very well as a team right now. I think they're taking the right areas of the map. They do no longer have their Aegis, but they are still in the Roshan pit. Now to grab a second Aegis if they want to go for it. I'm not sure if they've scouted the Roshan just yet. I don't think they have. Looking over at Marty Chang Slayers, they do have 5, not 5 anymore, they have 4 heroes in this bottom jungle area. Jinx being the lone player in the top lane. A lot of circles being drawn. Looks like Marty Chang Slayers grabbing bounties, heading back to that tri-camp. And Fire's dudes are still grouped as 4, but they only have 1 smoke. Maybe they'll go for it, or maybe they simply stay grouped without a smoke. They are pinging out that ward, it appears, so maybe they'll de-ward that. Or perhaps they think that the dire heroes are in their jungle. Regardless, though, they have finally smoked as 5. They are heading through a Roshan pit. Marty Chang Slayers appear not to know. PMA already onto this Roshan, is taking a lot of damage. And they are also headed top for Spirit Breaker. Can they find him? Step in by Neff. With that Yules, yeah, they'll easily kill this man here. Unless he has a miracle charge away. Tries to get away, but Rubik is in the right spot to lift him. Cancel that charge. And it'll be a kill to the Beast of US East. And also will be a Roshan kill to the Radiance. Aegis will go to PMA this time, so he will be the high ground sieger. Not sure where the cheese is going to go. Possibly to Void Spirit, possibly to Tiny. Will be to Void Spirit. In Marty Chang Slayers, they do have some heroes still in this jungle area. Do have 4 over there. Obviously, Polo has that Aghanim Scepter, has that S and Y. He's getting quite farmed this game. But hasn't had a great chance to use that Omni Slash recently. Meanwhile, looking over 5 average dudes, they are headed into the dire side of the map to say, you know what? If you're occupying our side of the map, we'll go to your side of the map. We'll farm there instead. We'll start shoving in these towers to the high ground, see if they'll defend it this time. They are now running at PMA. They seem to know the 5 average dudes are not particularly grouped. Looking at their vision, though, they only see PMA. He goes in looking for Jork. BKB is popped. I believe it was Swift Slash. Yes, Swift Slash was used, as is Omni Slash. Aegis actually not going down just yet. They go to Tombstone. Tombstone will go down, but Jork will also go down. It's a very good kill to start off the fight. PMA still has that Aegis. Still is fighting the Brewlings. They will try another strike him here, but he has a lot of HP. Instead, actually, will be a charge there onto Tiny. They will look for the Tiny. Looks like they once again have a Primal Split. They look for Notorious, they cannot find him. Instead, there will be a fight between Polo and PMA. Polo spin TPs away, and now it is time to head on to this Brewmaster. Has Remnants? Yeah, the Remnants did get him away from that one. Used both Primal Splits there in that fight to try to fight. Was unable to win that fight, and now it is once again high ground time for 5 average dudes. Jork is dead for 22 seconds, could not even get the exorcism off in that fight, simply died too fast. In this high ground, simply dying so fast to this Tiny and this Morphling. They once again go for Polo, but Polo gets the spin off, does not die there to the Tiny combo, plus the E-Blade of the Morphling. Jinx does charge in, but he gets cancelled by that Remnant from the Void Spirit. Melee racks are dead. 5 average dudes might still stay in the area, but without that Aegis, might be a little bit harder. They do still have the cheese. They might just give it to PMA. Or perhaps not. Maybe they'll keep it on the Void Spirit. But with Jork respawning, it might just be defense time. PMA has morphed into Jug. Healing Ward is there. They are pinging that out, it appears. There's a charge there onto Tiny. Has to kill if they can find it. BKB once again from Jork with that ultimate being popped. There is a Swift Slash doing some damage to Tiny, but Tiny still is half HP. In comes PMA. He's in the middle of everything, doing a lot of damage. He actually might go down there. Manta is popped. He doesn't strike morph in time, though. He is dead. And now, it will also kill Notorious. And Marty Chang Slayers, they are charging. Looking for Peripheral, looking for that Void Spirit. They do a lot of damage. And they also charge there onto CB. Charge was stolen. Primal Split is popped just to secure Void Spirit's death. However, CB with that stolen charge does escape. So good play by him, but it is still 3 kills. However, they did still lose that melee rack's middle. So a bit of a rough defense, but it was a defense regardless. Simply did not lose the game immediately with that defense. And for Marty Chang Slayers, pressure is a bit on. They have had a bit of a rough time fighting some of these fights, but they did have a good defense high ground. Perhaps they're thinking we should fight right here, right now, before they've aged again. Let's try to force out buybacks. Morphling and Void Spirit are still dead. Problem is they are not dead for that long. They do have a double siege unit as well. Does Radiant have a glyph? They do have a glyph, so glyph probably will get popped at some point. And Marty Chang Slayers, they're on the retreat. Buybacks were not forced. Glyph was not even forced. Everything appears to be A-okay. That was a Radiant glyph. Either way, though, I guess there was no glyph too forced. Regardless, the high ground was not fully chipped. They only got about half that tower, a little bit under that. And they're fully on the retreat once again. And for 5 average dude, they've said, you know what, we've played as 5, has gone pretty well for us. Let's once again play as 5 with smoke up on 4, sit behind PMA, let him run wherever he's going to run, be water. And they do scan into that dire jungle. They did hit on Brewmaster and Crystal Maiden. Can they find anybody? The answer is yes. They're going out to Brew. Avalanche Toss is there, as are all the follow-up stunts from that team. Down goes Brewmaster. Once again, he does have buyback. However, yeah, he's going to have the buyback for sure here. If you're 5 average dudes, you're going to say, alright, it's time to go high ground. We have a wave coming in middle. We can go bottom. The tower is low. We can go top. We have heroes there. Tower is also low. So, a successful fight at this point for 5 average dudes probably is the game. They're once again to the tower. It's already dead. They're onto the melee racks, and Marty Chang Slayers aren't even necessarily ready to defend just yet. They're not even grouped. They have a DP bottom. They have a Spirit Breaker top. They simply let the racks fall for now. And 5 average dudes seem to be fine with grabbing the racks and running. They say, you know what? We came here for the racks. We got the racks. Last time we overstayed our welcome. Let's not overstay our welcome this time. However, they do have 2 heroes in this jungle. Charge was there onto both Notorious and PMA, and their strike will bring Notorious back. That should be the kill, yeah, with the Frostbite of Crystal Maiden canceling that TP. Undying once again will go down, but at this point, Notorious is absolutely fine with that death. They say, you know what? If you're trading me for barracks, it's an okay trade any day of the week. Marty Chang Slayers were around that Roshan pit area, but it is still dead for at least a minute and a half longer, if not closer to 4.5 minutes, which is the possible longest respawn time in this particular instance. Either way, though, Jork is very far forward, drops that 2-man silence. Manta and BKB are there from PMA. Charge is in, was cancelled, Swift Slash is there, Primal Split is there, Omni Slash is there. They want to kill Tiny. Cheese is popped. Tiny is still alive. This could be a disaster for the Marty Chang Slayers. They're diving high ground, but they've gotten absolutely nobody. Untying is respawning, and that Primal Split, the first charge, is ending now. They do still have the Exorcism, but it's, once again, it's about 1/4 duration. They're fully on that retreat. And what appeared to be a pretty good jump there onto Tiny, they caught him isolated with that Omni Slash. Simply was not enough damage. The man is a bit too tanky with that cheese. And now, 5 average dudes, as they have done the last time, they fully were alive on 5. They run it down the mid lane. This time they appear to have no smoke. Yeah, there is no smoke. They are out of smokes, it appears. Yeah, they are out of smokes. They say, you know what? We don't even need to smoke. We don't even need these tier 4 neutral items. We're going to run into your jungle. We're going to kill you. Or we'll just scout the Roshan pit and not find it because it is still dead. Looking at when it might respawn, it is a very average Roshan spawn. It was a minute 49, so close to that minute 30 average. And for Marty Chang Slayers, they are playing on this low ground. However, they do see heroes here on this high ground, so they are somewhat aware of what's going on. However, for Jinx, he is dying for this team, perhaps. He does have a charge in one, may look to charge away. Is there a cancel? Not from Notorious for sure, but from Void Spirit, never mind. He just gets stunned up there. Tried another strike, could not find it. However, with Brewmaster blinking in, never mind, Brewmaster could not find a good split opportunity. PMA tried to charge Jinx. However, Jinx's charge will get cancelled by Rubik. It's once again another kill for the 5 average dudes. They are still down by 8k net worth, but it appears to not matter. They are playing as a good team right now. They are playing together as 5. Polo is middle lane looking for some kind of jump. He spins. He's trying to run away here. Primal Split number 1 is popped, looking to kill this Void Spirit. Void Spirit taking a lot of damage, but he'll get away there. Breezy Field trying to do a lot of damage, but it's not killing anybody. PMA very low, is strength morphing, has 1k HP left. He might go down here. Problem is there's just so many stuns there from 5 average dudes. PMA finally goes down, looking for Rubik. They will find the Rubik, and they will also look for this Void Spirit. And Void Spirit should go down here as well. Astral Step was there, but just stun there from the Brewmaster. Dissimulate will dodge it, actually. But he should eventually die here. Keyword is eventually. He's on the run still, but he's simply running out of defense. Yeah, with that Swift Slash, Polo will finally bring him down. And it is 3 kills for Marty Chang Slayers. It's the exact sort of fight they needed. They looked at Roshan, is still dead. So it's like, alright, let's go back to high grounds. It is a little bit injured. We need to force these buybacks, especially the buyback on Morphling. CB has already bought back. But Marty Chang Slayers are here onto this high grounds. Radiant Glyph was popped, but they have another wave coming in right now. Polo, spin hitting the tower. Tower certainly will go down here quite soon. Lift trying to delay it, but there is no jump just yet. They're trying to keep these racks alive without using any kind of buybacks. However, with the tower being dead, the melee racks being hit, there will be a melee racks exchange here. Tiny is looking for some kind of jump. Looks in for Jork, but Jork has that BKB. Melee racks will go down. They're now charging onto Tiny, but instead they turn to Notorious with that Swift Slash. He glimmers and tries to keep that Tombstone alive for now. Polo, now a little bit isolated. He tries to keep you up. He actually might just go down here. Barely gets that TP off in time. Almost got killed in the middle of the spin, but he will spin out successfully. And for Marty Chang Slayers, they finally break some high ground of their own. They get that melee racks middle. And they are possibly trying to retreat into their jungle to group once again. They have a Ninja Gear smoke on that Polo Juggernaut. However, Firebird dudes are once again in the Roshan area. Oh, Brewmaster looks to contest. However, he is being stunned up, has no defensive items. Will actually get that split off, though, in time. Tiny in the back lines looking for Jork. Jork still alive, has half HP. PMA. He's BKB'd. He's fighting. Finds no kills. Snare Strike is there at the PMA. That's the Omni Slash doing a bit of damage, but getting no kills just yet. Nobody is dead yet. Redondo should go down. He still has that Glimmer Cave. Finally, Redondo goes down. Tiny's still alive. They're fighting Notorious. Notorious goes down. Chard is there onto PMA. Looking for Morphling. He is hitting very low. He goes down. Buyback from the Undying. But this fight is an absolute disaster for 5 average dudes. And PMA has no buyback. He lost it somewhere in the last minute and a half or so. He had it earlier. Now he's short on that gold thanks to that death gold loss. And for Marty, Chang, Slayers, who have been ahead on gold all game but have been struggling in terms of the map control, in terms of the barracks being lost, to say, you know what, it's finally coming together. PMA's dead for 60 seconds. We can just take the high ground this time around. And there's no morphing to defend it. They're going to go here to try to force out a buyback on Morphling, and they're going to find out what we know right now is that there is no buyback on Morphling. This defense, without PMA, might just be impossible. It's certainly going to be quite difficult. And for Polo, he says, you know what, I am on to the high ground. Rubik is stunning him up, Blade Spear is trying as well, but Spin will prevent that from working for now. Tier 3 tower is dead. Jinx is charging in, looking for CB, but Jinx is actually going to be fine here. He's a Spirit Breaker. Netherrax taking a lot of damage, already down to half HP. There's a Remnant on the ground, but Polo is actively in that spin. Netherrax are dead. Rangerax still alive. And they now go with the Yules onto Spirit Breaker, looking for him. Jork has counter silence. Avalanche is there only on 1. Tombstone is dropped. Jinx will BKB and charge away. And for average dudes, they're looking to chase somebody, anybody, get any kind of kills. They look for Redondo on the Crystal Maiden. That might not even happen. Avalanche is there. And actually, there will be a turn here from Marty, Chang, Slayer. Swift Slash is there on Tiny. Tiny will BKB. Tiny will toss Polo deep into his own team. And Aegis is now down. In comes Spirit Breaker, charge onto Brewmaster. Once again, pops Primal Split. PMA actually had no chance there to BKB. He went down immediately. Beast of US East also goes down. He will buy back. Notorious goes down. This fight is an utter and complete disaster now for 5 average dudes. They have 2 men, no buyback. And at this point, once Marty, Chang, Slayers get this wave from the high ground, they will once again go for more racks. There's very little left bottom, only that range racks. And this top lane, it's already sieged, and they will hit this bottom lane. They will look for megas. Jinx is pushing in top lane, and the rest of Marty, Chang, Slayers are high ground bottom. Polo appears to be simply too big right now to fail. They tried to kill him. They tried tossing him in. They killed him once. The problem is they simply could not kill him twice. And PMA, in that fight, simply died too fast. Could not get his defensive Manta or BKB off. Simply got burst at 1700 HP. And now with Jork having another Exorcism and having a Refresher Shard as well, his high ground defense is not going very well there. It will be megas. And for 5 average dudes, they were in a good spot game-wise for so much of this game. But for now, it's no longer looking very good at all for them. Tiny did blink in, but he's now hexed, he's now charged. He probably will go down at some point. If they keep him locked down, Swift Slash is there, Dinner Strike is there, he will go down. He has no buyback. And now it's time for DP ulti round 2. Refresher Shard was there. PMA has respawned. They are defending as 4, but it's still a very hard 4-man defense. The Brewmaster is just making it so annoying with all of those Cyclones and all of those rock stuns. Polo, once again, hitting his tower, underspin. PMA goes in. He's fighting that BKB, but he's isolated right now. His teammates are far from him. Can he stay alive? He's spinning. He's getting low. Has that strength board, trying to stay alive, but he's still dead. Still has no buyback. Charge is still there onto this Undying as well. Neff is on the run. He's not going to go down, but the problem is these buildings, they cannot run to the fountain and heal. Tier 4 Tower 1 is dead. Tier 4 Tower 2 is falling as well. It'll go down here. Charge once again there onto Notorious. Void Spirit goes in. Astral Steps looking for Jinx. Cannot find him just yet. Finally goes down there. Tier 4 tower finally dead. In come the siege units. They're hitting the Ancient. They're still fighting as 4. Hex is there. There's Brewmaster on the distraction. Jug, he's hitting the throne. Undying, trying to fight. Cannot do it. He goes down. Void Spirit goes in, trying to delay, trying to do whatever he can. He's going through, doing as much damage as he can, but he'll go down. He has buyback. He dies back. And it's too late. The buildings, they're simply too damaged. And for Marty Chang Slayers, that is a game 1 victory. And it was a very, very hard-fought game, number 1. It looked rough for so long. They were sputtering and could not find the right fight. And lost the Rax middle, and they lost the Rax top, and they almost lost their tower early bottom in the tier 3 area. But they kept staying together. They said, you know what? It's okay. We're going to keep farming. We believe in our ability to win this game once we have our items, once our heroes are online. We can find the right opportunities. And by God, they were right. When push came to shove, when the fights got tough, Marty Chang Slayers got their W. And for Fire Rich Dudes, you have to be not happy with that loss. They were in this like commanding sort of position for so much of this game. But the problem is they simply could not get the win. And looking over at these graphs, they brought the net worth situation to a much more palatable situation. They had the Rax, Dota Plus thought they might win somehow. But then, Marty Chang Slayers find these key pickoffs, they find the Roshan, they find these huge team fight wins, and they eventually get in a situation where PMA has no buyback. And with PMA having no buyback, they forced fight after fight after fight after fight, knowing that, hey, Morphling does not have 2 lives, we can do this. And, turns out, they could do that. I think looking at this player net worth graph really tells the tale of the game. PMA, he was the win condition. They put a lot of faith in him. They put a lot of space around him. But the problem is, they simply did not give him too much help in terms of other farmed heroes. Tiny did his best to fill in that role, try to be that second large core to carry this game. Problem is, he was only a Tiny. And as this game really turned for the worse for them, PMA falls off, Jorik and Polo get huge, and it's just too much for the 5 average dudes to overcome. And what so much this game has to come down to is Jinx on the Spirit Breaker. Jinx actually played so well. Fundamentally, this game, I don't think it worked without the way Jinx played this game. I didn't really touch on too much of the individual economic details of it, but so much of how the game worked and how the game functioned was Jinx. Jinx really won the laning phase with key defensive TPs top lane, key ganks on Neff middle lane, ruining the Void Spirit's game, enabling Jorik to be very large early. And fundamentally, after the laning phase degenerated after it turned into mid-game, Jinx was just everywhere on the map. Basically, effectively not only playing the dead lane, but playing behind the dead lane. Like, farming these absolutely crazy spots, knowing that, hey, I am hard to kill, I have status resistance, I have high HP, I'm a Spirit Breaker who can charge, and worst case scenario, I die in a spot that enables my Jug to farm, my Spirit Breaker to farm, or sorry, my DP to farm, even my Brewmaster to farm pretty well this game. So, but regardless, it's one of those situations where Jinx just played this really good style. I was genuinely impressed overall with the macro level play here by Jinx. Just allowing Marty Chang Slayers to play this sort of high economy game. And really, for 5 average dudes, they really didn't have the greatest way to deal with it. They had no hero on their own team who could play a very similar sort of Dota. And even when they killed him, it wasn't enough to justify killing him. The amount of gold they got from killing Spirit Breaker was effectively a net loss in terms of how much gold Spirit Breaker was getting from the creeps, and how much gold his teammates were getting from the creeps. So just, for Jinx, You have to be like, you know, I did a lot this game. And you know what? That'd be very, very correct. Whew. Alright. Game 2. I'm going to once again put this on the screen. If I do not take it off immediately after this draft, please remind me in the chat, like, hey, you have this white text on the screen. Please get rid of it. Regardless, though, Fireworks dudes, they now dropped to 6 and 9. And Marty Chang Slayers, they do improve to 4 and 7. Gee, I honestly had a reminder on my phone for, I'm going to put a timer for 10 minutes. Just in case. I'm now a little bit paranoid after what happened last game, but it's okay. Hell of a game 1. Okay, looking at the bands, 5 average dudes, they are adjusting their bands according to what happened in game number 1. They say, you know what, maybe we don't need to ban Monkey King. We'll still ban Enigma, but this time we'll ban out Jinx the Spirit Breaker. We don't want to deal with it. We're simply entirely uninterested with playing against that in back-to-back games. And 5 average dudes open with a Shaman. Marty Chang Slayers respond with a Tusk. So we'll see if Jinx Tusk is as impressive as Jinx Spirit Breaker. Are obviously both brawly melee strength heroes, though I'm sure the style of Dota this game will be drastically different from the style of Dota we saw in game number 1. Honestly, to see some crazy split pushing on Tusk, though obviously Tusk Snowball is not as great of a safe tool as Tusk, or sorry, Spirit Breaker Charge, I should say. And we see a Puck. Puck was banned out in game number 1, I believe, second or third phase. Will get picked first phase this game. And Marty Chang Slayers, they say, you know what? If you're going to give us Monkey King this game, we're going to snap pick it. Well, not snap. Yeah, so you're going to snap pick it with that 8 pick. They'll have it fast. They'll have their core situation figured out. They have the king of monkeys. And for Fireworks dudes, they clearly respect the hero to an extent. They did first ban it first game. In this game, they're going to have to play against it. Alright. It is time for ban phase number 2. I'm actually going to be right back. Need to grab some water. So I will leave the sounds of heroes being mad about being banned in the chat. I'm just going to go put this little text thing up here. Ah, it's perfect. Alright, I will be right back. Oh, it's a lion pick. That's cool. Okay, it's a lion, and we get another game of Undying. Once again for Notorious. Let's take out this little water thing right here. Okay, cool. Looking over at the bans, we have some couple heroes that were banned game number 1, come back for game 2 bans, but overall we are seeing different bans. We're seeing both Death Prophet and Void Spirit being banned by Fire Dudes. Obviously, those were the two mid laners last game, so not an option this game. Alright. Much interested to see what Redondo does on this lion. Should be relatively interesting to see. I'm not sure how the laning phase is going to go just yet, considering it's going to be into, I'm assuming, a shaman plus some kind of strong off-lane hero. Certainly one who can stand pat up against a Monkey King. Though I guess trying to get an off-laner who can lane into Monkey King is not an easy thing to do. Certainly very strong laning carry in the right situations. And Marty Chang Slayers will pick a Tide. So maybe it's they're thinking big ol' stuns this game. Obviously Lion has stun, has Hex, Tidelander has a Ravage, Tusk has stun through Snowball and the Walrus Punch. Monkey King can capitalize with that Wukong's command, so should be able to play around that pretty well. And 5 average dudes to grab an Ursa. They actually are holding their offlane pick, it appears, unless their offlaner is Puck, which is possible, but we haven't seen it much as of recently. I like the Ursa pick though, certainly one of PMA's more played heroes in Lads. Hero that lanes very well into Tide. Once he has that Aghanims Enrage, should be quite powerful this game out of getting out a lot of these stuns, though it will not get out of the Hex of Lion, which is notable. So Marty Chang Slayers, they are going to want some kind of, hard to tell what just yet. 5 average dudes did ban out Troll, so maybe they're thinking, you know, maybe they could go for a mid-monkey will ban out carries. You know, Marty Chang Slayers are saying what I'm saying. They're thinking, yeah, this Puck's probably mid, we'll ban out Sand King, we'll ban out these stronger offlaners who might have some chance of doing well into Monkey. We'll make the situation even harder to draft around. Either way, though, I'm excited for game number 2. If game 2 is anything like game number 1, then it should be a fun game to be here for. Yeah. We are here onto this ultimate ban. We're simply waiting now on this last ban here. Trying to think what kind of offlaner do we not want to play against. Obviously, a lot of the offlaners have already been bans. Beastmaster bans, Sand King banned, Mars banned. There is still Underlord in the pool, but Underlord into Monkey King, not a fun time. They'll ban out Viper instead, thinking, alright, we don't want to give strong ranged heroes to 5 average dudes. We're going to make them go with a rough offlaner into our Monkey King. We saw what happened last game. We want to repeat that. We want to have a very good offlane, or we want to have a very good safe lane scenario. Last game, Polo had a very, very good start. They put a lot of resources in securing his lane. In this game, they appear to be committing those bans to once again securing his lane. Worked out well for them in the end. Thanks to that good start, he had enough farm to be able to simply be too big to fail in the late game. Obviously, the Omni Slash and the Swift Slash, a lot of damage on that Juggernaut last game. In this game, Monkey King, he'll buy, a good 4 or 5 items, do a lot of damage. Ideally for his team, be able to man-fight, though man-fighting the Ursa might not be the easiest thing in the world to do. It is obviously an Ursa, so still. Alright, it's a reminder on my phone to turn off these little things. You know what? I'm going to turn them off now. Let's go turn them off. Let's go, we don't need this info anymore. We don't need this info. This is not important. Regardless, we are here on to the penultimate pick of the draft, last pick of Fire Average Dudes. They've used a lot of this reserve time simply on this off-lane pick. They've been here for about a minute and a half just thinking, and I don't blame them. This is not an easy decision. They could go Bat Rider potentially, but instead they'll think basically the exact opposite kind of hero. They'll go Night Stalker. This real man-fight at-night hero. A hero who can, if you see Monkey King running away in the trees, pop Dark Ascension, have that free pathing, chase him into the trees perhaps. Though, for the first 5 minutes of this game, might not be a good situation for the lanes. For Marty Chang Slayers, probably going to end up being either a carry or a mid. 5 average dudes appear to think they need a carry for Marty Chang Slayers. Hope to see if that rings true. The answer appears to be no. Will be a Jorik mid-tiny. And we're seeing actually back-to-back tiny games. By a different team, by a different player, in a different position. This time played mid by Jorik rather than offlane by the Beast of US East. Curious to see how the Tiny is played differently this game by the two players. If you're curious on who's playing what, it is on your screen right now. Nothing too crazy. People basically playing what you would expect them to play. The player I want to watch, though, after Game 1 is certainly going to be Jinx. Jinx game number 1 on Spirit Breakers just... From basically minute number 3 to minute number 10 was everywhere on the map, and I'm curious to see if that happens this game on that Tusk. Certainly will be after the following this Tusk around in the laning phase, probably. Something I have noticed, though, if I average dudes pick a very different style of 4 than Marty Chang Slayers do. Marty Chang Slayers, tanky strength heroes and stunts. Fibers dudes, more finesse-based spellcasters. Obviously Rubik game 1, Shaman game 2. Looking at the overall draft, though, it's hard to decide which one I like better. I think I like this overall draft from Marty Chang Slayers. I think they have a very straightforward team fight, use stuns with Monkey King. Pretty easy to execute stuns. They have a lot of ways to find pickoffs with the Lion, with the Tiny. I think the drafts are overall pretty even, though. I'm not going to say there's any one winner in this draft. I'm not entirely convinced with either of these drafts. I think both teams have their win conditions, and both teams will attempt to get there in the mid-game. Very useful information I'd have said, I'm sure. We are seeing 3 heroes on the 5 average dudes head into this dire side jungle. Ward is dropped. They are by the shrine, the outpost area. But Marty Chang Slayers, they have nobody there. All 5 heroes in this circle, most of them playing towards the tri-camp, head at bottom. PMA is like, you know what? If there's no heroes here, maybe there's heroes over here in this area. Let's go. I'm gonna go retreat, sit under my tier 1, not die. So should be a-okay down there. Should be a pretty obvious 2-for-2 rune exchange. Obviously, Puck grabbing it here, some hero grabbing it here, and then obviously there's any dire hero grabbing it here and here. Looks like Jordan grabbed the one there. So we'll have very similar mid blocks with both middle laners grabbing a rune rather than blocking immediately. Alright, here we go. Jinx and Redondo are still playing down here. We could see a situation where it's a... both teams might go for a kill onto a safe laner. Notorious is TPing down, so it will be a 2 for 3 at the start until Redondo TP's top lane. Though Redondo in these trees may look for the wraparound gank with that Earth Spike, maybe looking to kill PMA. Will it be successful? Yet to be determined, but with that tag team and with that Gush, it might just work. Do Radiant see him? They appear not to know. But at this point, say, wait, we don't see Lion in top lane. Is he going to go in? They go Notorious. Gush is there. Earthspike is onto Notorious. With that tag team, Notorious should go down, and it will be first blood drawn by the Tidehunter. Back to top lane. They're doing some damage to Polo in this interim, but now with Redondo TPing in with that Earthspike, going on him will no longer be as easy. So overall, once again, an alright start to the game for Marty Chang Slayers. Last game, they had about, what was it, I think 9 or 10 kills before 5 average dudes got any kills on the board. We'll see if that happens again this game. That'll be a full like 9 or 10 kills with no counter kills happening, but it is certainly a good start for this lanes. And for PMA, he's currently alone. Notorious did use that TP bottom to get to the lane, but the TP is not available currently. He's simply walking on over. So obviously not a great situation for PMA. He is being run at. Jinx pops that tag team. The Gush was already there, so he's taking a good bit of damage. Can they kill him? He's getting quite low, but they appear to be just short on damage. Gush is there in one, so Salve is cancelled, but it is no death. But still, with no Salve being available, PMA's lane appears to be ruined. He is very low on regen. Has 2 tangos, but 2 tangos will not full heal a man, missing 550 HP. Over in top lane, CB is pulling. Camp is not blocked. There is no sentry to block it. Simply, there will be pulls this game. He does actually get Earth Spiked by Redondo, but CB will be fine here. Might pop the Jingu. Yeah, we'll pop the Jingu with that Boundless Strike. So Polo will get a good bit of healing here on these creeps. But overall, no kills. Have not looked at mid lane a single time this game. As it currently stands, it's pretty even, 11-2 versus 10-1. Looking at bottom, Gush is there on PMA. Tag team is popped. They're trying to do damage. Notorious has Decay on 2, but there's a snowball from PMA. Actually, there's a good sword of keeping him alive. They turn to Jinx. Jinx pops Fairy Fire, will actually die. And now, they're on the Tide. PMA still low. They need 2 more right clicks. One is there. Second one is there. Down goes the Ursa. Notorious. The Notorious Undying still trying to trade, but this fight is over. Will be a 4 support. That Tusk for the carry. That Ursa. So a relatively good trade there for Marty Chang Slayers. Though it does mean PMA can finally get his regen he's been waiting on for a very, very long time. So he'll go into this lane with a lot of regen finally. Hopefully he won't get canceled before he can use it this time. Marty and our melee bottom. Jinx is doing a bit of the wraparound, but there is no kill just yet. And then top lane, Earthspike actually was cancelled. Will actually hit CB here. There is a Boundless Strike. There is that Orb of Corrosion. Boundless Strike will be there. They need more hits. They need one more right click at least. Polo thought about the dive. Took some tower shots, but no complete dive just yet. Meanwhile, middle lane, Peripheral took a lot of damage from the Yorick. My god. But nobody is dead there. Back to bottom. They're getting Tide. Tide takes damage. Tide is alive. Back to top. CB currently not top. We'll secure the right middle lane. Toss was used. Once again, looking for this puck. Avalanche is there. They need a little more. In comes Jinx phase shift. It's barely there, but not used in time. Down goes puck. Huge kill by Jinx. And CB actually can't even get the counter kill. And actually gets his courier killed as well. Jinx! Wow, this man is intense! He's once again bottom, has Snowball and Tag Team. PMA is trying to fight this Tide, has only 2 stacks. They turn to Jinx, and Jinx finally goes down, finally gets killed. Not in the lane, though, that we might have expected, as he did dive 2 heroes under tower middle lane, but instead dies bottom. But Jinx, I said it in the really early game, late stages of the draft, can Jinx go off? And Jinx, my god, Jinx is once again going off, it appears. Will that hold true? We'll have to find out. Either way, though, now they're headed out to Night Stalker. It is nighttime. He is faster. In comes CB, though, with a shackle there onto Polo. Meanwhile, Beast of Yo's East trying to chase down Redondo. Needs 2 more hits. Has no mana just yet, nor cooldown for this Void. But he does have 6 wand charges. Back to a more static lane situation. There are no kill attempts for an entire 20 straight seconds, which might be a record this game. Correction, they now are onto this Undying. He will go down there to that tag team damage from Jinx and the Tide, of course. Now at this point, Marty Chang Slayers are off to a very slight lead. They are doing alright in terms of CS in all 3 lanes. They're getting similar CS in all 3 lanes. Night Stalker farming similarly to Polo on that Monkey King. Puck actually might just go... Actually, Puck is fine here. Snowball is there, needing a lot of follow-up. Ice Shards will actually block the Puck in, but the Wingriff will bring Jinx under this tower. Coil is there. Will it be used? Will be used, but not necessarily perfectly in tower range. Avalanche is there. Is there a toss? There's a tree toss. Needs 1 more hit. Will probably not find it. In comes CB, but has no mana for Shackles. Overall, no deaths happen. Well, there may be a death in the bottom lane, but with Jinx deeping in, everything's fine. But meanwhile, we're seeing attempts top lane. Earthspike was there, as is Hex. Down the strike will slow up the Beast of US East, but they need a little more, and they will not find any more hits there. Back to bottom, tag team is used, PMA on the turn, Snowball is there, but simply on a creep defensively. Back to top lane, they're once again going on to the Beast of US East. The Magic Wand is charged. It was popped. Everyone's okay. Whew. Once again, somewhat chaotic laning phase is happening. A lot of kill attempts in every lane. Though the lanes actually are a little bit slower than last game this time at least. That is something. As George did last game, he is playing very aggressively this game, this time on Tiny. Has gone for a lot of kill attempts on Peripheral, but they've only killed him the Puck once so far through a gank through Jinx. However, though, this time with that Coil, he actually wound up dying. Once Notorious... Actually, he is still alive for now, but eventually he'll get brought down. This is a relatively inevitable death. The question is, can he get something... Actually, he's simply walking away. He's might just be too fast. With the Tombstone and the Orb coming through, Jork will finally go down. Tries to kill Peripheral, but with that phase shift, will stay alive. And Redondo walks on over, but there will be no counter kill just yet, or anytime soon. Huh. Either way, though, things appear to be going alright for both teams. The heroes that need to be getting farmed are getting farmed. Ursa headed towards B-Fury. Monkey, I'm not sure what he's headed for just yet. Probably at least something along the lines of a Maelstrom plus an Eggs. Puck, though, is still very low middle lane. Jinx is invis. The tower, though, did spot Jinx briefly. So now Puck will complete the orb away. He'll be fine. There is Ravage available if they want to play around Zombies Expert on this Tide. I'm not sure if they will just yet. They do have 2 heroes rotating bottom. Jinx is still invis, actually. We're seeing a lot of heroes are missing, being pinged. PMA was Gush, but appears to be fine for now. There's no follow-up just yet, but the follow-up is nearby. However, it is known that they are there. Enrage is still available on Ursa. He goes into Tide, Tombstone is dropped, as is the Ravage. Hits on both, but there's still no kills. And this dive appears to be over. Marty Chang Slayers simply will have to walk away with that Ravage. So an unfortunate Ravage usage, but I guess it is okay considering they did not die. But it is still not great for them. Looking over hero net worths, all 6 cores actually quite similar in net worth. There's a very, very small gap between Tide and Monkey, who are number 1 through 6. Notorious will try to TP away here, and will get canceled by a snowball. However, Jinx taking a lot of damage from the right clicks. Notorious goes down, and PMA is still trying to chase. He has Neff coming in on that puck. Coil is up, will get used, possibly. Not used just yet. They want to equalize this kill. There has been one death. Yeah, it will be now one death for both sides. Once Jinx eventually goes down here, there'll be a Coil as well onto 2 under his tower, but this is a hard tower dive. Can they silence Lion long enough? The answer is yes. Lion gets no stuns off. Tusk does buyback. Now they want to get counter kills. They're looking for this Night Stalker, but that's a man with free pathing. Do they know he's there? Alright, they'll eventually find him. Wait, will they? Did he actually just... No, he's not out just yet. TP's on cooldown for 30 more seconds, and they find him. Tag team is there. He'll eventually get brought down. Yeah, with the Wallace Punch, he will die. Overall, 2 for 2 engagement. Tip is used. However, it did cost the buyback of this Tusk. So not the greatest engagement for Marty Chang Slayers. We're going over at Jork. He is headed for a Blink Dagger. Has a 1.3k gold. Needs about 900 more to get that Blink Dagger. Looking over at Tide. Is headed for Greaves. Is not far from the mech currently, it appears. Notorious has been gushed, but Beast of US East is there. Is there a Tombstone? Will eventually get dropped, but he will go down pretty soon. He goes down. Simply too much damage. Avalanche and Shards. Armed Night Sucker. He is tossed up but not tossed back. Peripheral is here. Has Coil, however, not being used. And on the other side of the maps, the Spirit Wards were... Sorry, Serpent Wards were top lane. And they will kill this top tier 1 tower with the help of PMA. But back into this jungle area, there still are 2 Radiant heroes here. They're TPing in Notorious. Currently a 4v3 situation. Now on CB TP's middle lane, so it'll be actually end up being a 3-for-4 if they want to fight. Ravage is available once again with that mech if they want to dive. They appear not to want to do that. They're simply backing possibly to this tri-camp area to farm, or perhaps they're headed deeper into this Radiant jungle to look for a kill middle lane. Not sure just yet. They are still deep into this Radiant jungle. Radiant doesn't really know what's going on too heavily. Puck might just walk into death here. Hex is there, as is Valor's Punch. Are there more stuns? They actually mess up the chain stun. Coil is there onto 3. They toss Rotondo in, but he's still stunned. Finger! Not used just yet. It was cancelled by animation, then by the phase shift, and Rotondo goes down. Disastrous kill attempt onto that puck, and Fire's dudes, they're looking for more. They kill Jinx. That's a dieback. Now, with the Tombstone being dead, they are still trying to fight. Ravage was on 4, but it's simply a retreating Ravage. Puck and Night Sucker tried chasing Tide, but Tide had that mech. Simply now, they cannot get the kill. They have to run away. Tiny is here. Kills a courier. But can he find a hero? The answer appears to be no. Ultimately, though, that was an absolutely disastrous kill attempt there onto Neff. That puck should have been dead to rights. Should have been completely left to die. But they simply... It's the opposite of a chain stun. They were so afraid of chain stunning that they just broke the chain. They just didn't stun. And unfortunately for them, because the puck escaped there, what could have been a great pick-off, get the pick-off run away, instead they have to toss Rotondo and they try to get the kill there. They simply get a very, very sad fight for them, and it's not a fun time. Jork looked for a kill middle, could not find it. Serpent Wards once again dropped, and the tower is denied. Overall, though, Marty Chang Slayers, they are still 2k up. They have been playing the economy very well this series. Polo obviously has been farming a lot. Not as well as he did game number 1 just yet, but he's trying. Working on that Maelstrom. 2-farm bastard, obviously. Looking at the other carry, looking at PMA, he is very close to his B Fury. Needs a little bit more gold, but he'll have it next camp at the latest. Yeah, with the battery room will be enough gold for it. Looking over at Puck. Puck not opting for a blink. I'm not so sure about that just yet in terms of initiation. He will instead opt for the Witchblade first. Probably will go Witchblade into blink, which can work this game for sure. Redondo's very oddly positioned bottom lane, looking for some kind of kill, but the problem is, with the Dark Ascension, he'll simply get run down and killed. That positioning, try to find a kill, simply not able to get a kill, well, other than his own death. Beast of US East is chasing for more. Can he find it? It's aggression. The answer appears to be, actually no, they could not find Jinx there. The Dark Ascension actually was not used, they still have it if they want to use it there. Orb is there, as is the silence. However, in comes Jork, has that blink reveal, kills the Puck. Dark Ascension now pop, but there's a snowball from Jinx. They're trying to chase him. Is there any kind of stun? Is there any kind of slow? There's a toss into from Tiny if they can blink and find him. Shard to the left, off the mark. And Mr. Nightstalker has TP'd away completely. Top lane, Ursa looking for Polo. And Rage is popped, as is Tombstone. They need one more hit. Can they find it? Jork is there in time, saves his teammate, now looking for PMA, but Nightstalker also has arrived. There's nobody dead here. And unfortunately, Notorious might be the one death that ends up happening. Actually, never mind. Mr. Beast of US East is very deep, has no TP. Redondo's on the way, has Earthspike, has Hex is there. Earthspike being used as well. Serpent Wards were dropped mid, but the finger will result in a kill on Nightstalker. And they will also defend their tower from these Serpent Wards. Was not able to get that tier 1 tower kill middle. Ooh. Notorious is not in a good spot. He TP's away. Successfully at that, so now he's in a good spot. His fountain. Either way. Marty Chang Slayers are grouped as 5 in this middle lane. They have Ravage available, they have the Greaves available, they have all their cooldowns but Finger. And they're now headed into the Radiant Tricamp, perhaps looking for PMA. That's the big kill if they can find it. But despite not having perfect vision of the area, they have a relative idea that Marty Chang Slayers headed this direction. Speaking of vision, Marty Chang Slayers currently do not see any of the members on 5 average dudes. They do now see Nightstalker. They might try to chase him a little bit. But they're playing on this high ground area, so not the greatest spot to blink into. Jork though says, you know, I don't care. I'm that anyways. Walks into the high ground, toss is there as an avalanche on PMA, and Rage is popped, Tombstone is dropped. Ravage, it's there onto 2, Coil's there onto 2 as well. Down the strike is dropped, Tombstone's command, down goes the Puck, down goes the Undying. They're looking for more. Everybody on Radiant, they're on the run. Ursa will be fine, but Shadow Shaman will not be fine. CB goes down, 3 kills for Marty Chang Slayers, 2 kills to Jork. And overall for Marty Chang Slayers, you're seeing their draft in action. Just throw out the abilities on multiple heroes. It can't go wrong. They have 3 kills there. I mean, they basically committed every cooldown they had for it, but you know what? What point is having cooldowns if you're not going to use them? And they'll convert that 3-kill situation into a lot of tier 2 tower damage. They want the kill, but 5 average dudes might have something to say about that one. Puck is there with the orb, but there's not enough follow-up just yet. PMA does go in. He's stunned by Avalanche and the toss. He's dropping low. He goes down, dies to Jinx. In comes the Dark Ascension. They're looking for more. They find Redondo, but it's only a 1-for-1 so far. Referral has Orb away with a phase shift. Gets away for now, but they're still chasing him on Jork. He has a haste rune. Has a toss and a right click. Down goes. Puck still alive, actually. Puck trying to escape. Can he juke more? Has an orb. Jaunts away. They're still chasing. Blink in from Jork. Cannot find Puck. Meanwhile, other than the fight, Nightstalker is running around unimpeded. Snowballs away onto Notorious. Tombstone once again dropped, but Notorious goes down. Puck is back there. Once again, has Coil on 2. Nightstalker trying to fight there under this Tombstone. CV is there as well. The Ether Shock doing a lot of damage, but nobody's dying just yet. The Avalanche, it's only on Shaman. But it seems pretty all they need. Shards is there. CV goes down. Finger is there on Redondo, who's respawned. Kills the Beast of US East. In Peripheral, tries to kill Polo. Gets him with that waning rift, but he will pay for it. Overall, once again, not a good fight there for 5 average dudes. They lose 4 heroes. They only get 2 in exchange. And it was trying to avenge this sort of tier 2 tower loss, but it was simply unsuccessful. PMA, meanwhile, the one survivor on Radiant from that last fight, he is caught alone by this Tri-Camp. Gets the enrage off right before he dies, but unfortunately getting that enrage off did not keep him alive here. Good catch once again by Marty Chang Slayers. And it is a ultimately 5 kills secured by them in the last minute or so. And they're playing so well in the last few minutes. They're finding, I mean, they converted one good team fight into a second good team fight, into a very important kill onto this Ursa, slowing his game down. And they're up by a lot. I mean, they're up by 9k net worth. They're up by 8 kills. They're up in terms of the towers. Like, everything is going their direction currently. And we're seeing friendly tips all around. Or maybe they're just landing their own teammates. Probably friendly tips, though. They appear to be in a good mood. They're tipping each other all as well. But for 5 average dudes, this game's getting difficult. Their puck is not very far. Their Night Stalker starting to fall off already at this point. And they really have not come up with a solution yet for Polo. They killed him in the last fight, but they had to commit so much to kill him, and this man is agging him soon. However, 5 average dudes say, you know, we don't care about Polo. We're going to smoke here on the Jinx. We just want to kill. We need a kill. Can we get a kill, please? Oh, but Jinx blinks away. Can he escape in time? No, he will not. The coil is there from this puck. And the kill will also go to the puck. Overall, nice smoke kill. Get whatever you can. The problem is, it's a smoke kill only onto Jinx. We saw last game, killing Jinx does not win you this Dota game. And as, once again, we see it again. We see all these heroes, including Cores, go here onto Jinx, get the kill. Problem is, Polo, he's farming Tri-Camp. We see Georic, he's farming jungle. He's looking for kill opportunities. We're seeing where this Titan or Zombie Expert, he's farming as well. Everybody here is farming. They're simply out farming 5 average dudes because Jinx is just not killable. And even when he is, it's just not worth killing him. Tiny even has the overwhelming blink right now, which is some of the earliest I've ever seen somebody pick up that item. He's going here onto peripheral, cannot find the kill just yet, but with that toss, she needs more hits, cannot find the kill. Was saved by the, not sure by what actually, but with the magic wand jar just kept him alive there. But regardless, Jorg did escape, so it's no harm, no foul. And this is rough. You kind of can't just be letting the Tiny just blink onto your puck like that while all those teammates still around and not find a counter kill. But regardless, Jorg once again going forward. Actually blinks away this time. Tide running away as well. Marty Chang Slayers, they're very split right now. And now they're looking to defend this bottom tower. The TPs are there. Redondo and Polo are on the run. In comes Dark Ascension, in comes the puck with that orb. Puck now has the Witchblade, but they're in range of nobody just yet. And now Marty Chang Slayers, they are on the way to try to defend. Jinx has arrived. Can he save Polo? She gets silenced there. There's once again a coil there onto 2, but puck once again died. And, oh, they couldn't kill Polo. The fingers did. The bounce spike was there, and they killed 3 heroes. And they're once again looking for this Night Stalker. Night Stalker will escape, but another disastrous 3-for-0 engagements. And they will take that, once again, they kill 3 heroes and they go for a tier 2 tower. And once again, after killing 3 heroes, they will successfully kill a tier 2 tower. So for Marty Chang Slayers, they really are just taking over the map. It's looking rough for 5 average dudes. They're going to need to do something creative and something crazy, or possibly just hope that Marty Chang Slayers make a mistake, because playing static at this point is not going to win this game. PMA is looking for that BKB. Maybe that's the item. He is still about 1,000 gold away from that. And Marty Chang Slayers are not in a position to go high ground just yet. They simply are running away back to the Radiant Tri-Camp area. Redondo is alone farming this jungle area. It'll be fine though, just TP away. Yeah, looking at 5 average dudes, they have decent vision right now. They know where a lot of these heroes are. Can they find any is the question. They appear to not be even going for it just yet. They don't have any smokes available. They have some in backpack. So they're not going to go for it just yet. They're okay with farming. They're going to let PMA finish this BKB. And they'll be okay with that. Alright, they're drawing circles. They appear to know exactly where 5 average dudes are. I think, alright, they're in their jungle. And in general, yeah, they're mostly in their jungle. We've seen a lot of circles this series being drawn by Jinx. Jinx, in general, has been very accurate on those circles. However, around the Roshan pit, Jork, he's stationed there. They try to find somebody, but they do not find Jork. At least they don't find any kind of kill attempt on the Jork. And he actually, I think we saw a smoke on somebody. Thought I heard the animation or the sound from the animation, but either way, Jork is headed forward, looking for some kind of kill. Not able to find it though. Jinx is sitting in this Roshan pit. Okay, there is the smoke. On 5, from the 5 average dudes. They're headed forward. They pop it on Redondo. Can they kill him? The answer is no. They're looking for a more important kill. The Void mini-stun is there on 3. In comes Puck looking for something. Puck's command is there, as is the Ravage. It's on to 3, I believe. Puck, though, the only casualty. Notorious will join him on that Undying. PMA, he's BKB, he's enraged, he's trying to fight, but he's simply unable to fight completely. He tries to kill Polo. Polo barely got Polo finally goes down there. But it's still not a great fight. Beast of US East, he's trying to make the best out of the situation, trying to path around with the Dark Ascension, but he gets caught by the Blink Stun combo from Yorick. It's a 4-for-1 engagement, and it's right around the Roshan pit. However, the number 1 Roshan killing hero is dead. Very fortunately for 5 average dudes, they did kill the Monkey King, but unfortunately, it's like we turned disaster into only a somewhat disaster. Luckily, they managed to man-fight the monkey very well. I mean, you're seeing in the chat, Ursa did nearly 2,500 damage there to this Monkey King. So Ursa certainly has the options to simply man-fight the monkey in these team fights. For Marty Chang Slayers, despite being up by 7k net worth, their Monkey King still does die that man-fight. So perhaps next time they're going to prioritize even further. Alright, keep Monkey alive, keep the bear off of this man, and we'll be okay. Either way, though, we appear to be resetting a little bit after that fight, waiting for some cooldowns. 5 average dudes are once again grouped as 5, but they, actually, they do have a smoke again. If they want to go for something, they can smoke. Knowing that Ravage is on cooldown. They do find Jinx with the Void, but actually, Redondo's very in right there. It simply forces into a silence. He dies. And Jinx probably will die here as well. Actually, in comes the cavalry. In comes Yorick and Polo. Oh god, the damage is massive. PMA is trying to man-fight the Enragers there. BKB is there, but he's now on the run. His BKB is over. And this fight is not great already for 5 average dudes. Their supports are dead, but they're just still pretty strong. Alright, in comes Yorick. Blink stuns Tiny. Balance check is there. He actually will go down there to the monkeys of Polo. The Beast of US East is dead. Polo still walking around the Roshan pit area. Might be thinking about it, but has not headed into Roshan just yet. He does have that Aghanim, so this Roshan might not be too difficult. Especially with the Gush, if they can get the Lincoln spots. Okay, he will Gush Roshan. Just a halberd Roshan instead. Either way, though, Tiny very far in. PMA killing Redondo as well, but yeah, they'll probably lose Notorious for that. That's overall 1-for-1 support for support trade. Notorious is still alive. Other than the fight, they're chasing Jork. Jork keeps himself alive with that E-Blade for now. PMA is tossed all the way back into Jinx. And they will halberd the Ursa while he's being kited around very well. CB goes down, Ravage is there. It's only on PMA, but it's only needed on PMA. And now they're chasing this Puck, but Puck probably fine here. But the problem is Roshan, ooh, Night Stalker is in the area, but it's now daytime. It's probably time to run. They even know where he is, but this Roshan simply a casualty of the previous team fight. He just split the polo. So even if PMA can bring him down with that man fight, it won't matter. He has 2 lives. Whew. And for Marty Chang Slayers, they really are in this driver's seat position. They're up 22,000 gold. They're getting like these really luxury sort of items. I mean, they have an E-Blade on Yorick. He blinks in. Never mind, it's only on creeps, but regardless. Looking at Monkey. He's got Maelstrom, Aghanim's BKB. He's large. I mean, this Tusk almost has Blink Halberd. His Tide does have Blink Halberd on top of a Greaves. They're just so far. And Redondo, he even has a Blink Force right now. Looking at Radiant, they're just poor. Undying has nothing. Shaman has nothing. Night Stalker only has Aghanim's Falcon Blade, not only one component of BKB. Puck only Witch's Blade plus the Blink as well. He's not that farmed either. PMA is really the only farmed person on Radiant. And that's only 2.5 items. He has to finish the SNY, I think, so that is 3 items, but still. The economy... Game number 1, the economy wasn't as much of a disaster because 5 average dudes kept grabbing buildings, but this game, the economy is just degenerating out of control. It's nearly up to 1k per minute at this point. Looks like they will Dark Ascension for an illusion. The illusion certainly is dead. The illusion certainly is dead. Either way, though, they will chase for more with the Dark Ascension being popped. But they will not find anybody. All of the dire heroes are in this Radiant jungle. They're even drawing a line like, hey, they don't go over here, they might be over here. And they'll be correct. They're literally standing in that sort of line that that CB drew. Alright, Polo has a Basher even. They might look for PMA here. I don't think they saw him though. They have an idea. They're picking the area out. You know, bottom lane though, Jorik is coiled, but he is in that ethereal form. He should be fine. Blink in, Mars Punch from Jinx. Puck is low. Meanwhile, Notorious is brought down top lane by the Monkey King and the Tidehunter. He's simply too far, caught out alone. However, Jorik taking a lot of damage. He was forced out by Redondo. In comes Puck. Wedding Rift on 3. They're all silenced. And in comes Polo. But down goes Jinx. So far, 1 for 1. Support for support. But now the Blink Ravage. It's in. It's only on to 1, actually. And they actually did not find PMA with that. On the backlines, Jorik looking for a nice Stalker. Beats of US East does go down to the finger of Redondo. And now it's high ground time. 2 heroes are dead. 1 for 45 seconds. Both have no buyback. And Polo still has that Aegis. And it has that 10-second BKB. 9-second BKB. Either way, though. 2-3 tower is dead. They are on to Rax. Smoke was popped. Not so much effect, though. E-Blade's even being popped onto PMA, preventing him from just simply walking in there doing that damage. The Rax have fallen. Polo on the retreat. He's actually only half HP, but killing him here is going to be very, very difficult. And Marty Chang Slayers very content with getting those barracks, not making the mistake the 5 average dudes did last game on that second Rax siege. They will not give any kills up. They will simply run away and say, you know what, we will keep this stranglehold on the economy. We will choke the necks of 5 average dudes. We're going to force them to make a play. And if they're any forced to make a play, they're making that play without a smoke. Yeah, Tide is an Aghanim Scepter. They're just getting more and more and more items. They're just so farmed right now. Gosh, just even scouting in the high ground area. PMA is forward. Avalanche is there, but there is no toss. They actually do stun up. They're not killing Investigator. Coil is there on 3. In comes Jinx. There's a BKB from PMA. Look, Command is popped, though. PMA will go down despite the Enrage being popped at the last minute. In comes Tide, looking for both supports. Doing some damage. Finger is there. Down goes Notorious. And this game is looking very bad at this point. PMA is dead. for over a minute with no buyback. And this probably will be lane number 2 of Rax. Nice Sucker has the Agonums with that Void trying to delay this, but in comes York. They do find CB thanks to Boundless Strike from Polo. And they will look for Nice Sucker as well. They finally will bring him down, diving 4 heroes under that tier 4 tower area, but there is no defense just yet. And the GG is followed by PMA. That's game. Can they kill Peripheral? It doesn't matter. They will stun him, but they will not kill him before the game is over. And for Marty Chang Slayers, much more convincing of a Game 2 than it was Game 1. Game 1 looked very tenuous, but Game 2 was very convincing. This was a one-sided game from, I don't know, maybe minute 15 or so. We'll look at the graph afterwards to see exactly where it really degenerated out of control, but for them, they have to be very proud of the series. They had a hard-fought Game 1. They fought from behind. They beat adversity of being down a set and a half of Rax. In game number 2, they have another win, but it's a very different style of win. A win where they simply they just beat them mercilessly in these mid-game team fights. And look at this graph. Look at that graph. I mean, this is relatively even point until about minute 20 or so, actually. Little Plus says, you know what? We like this high average dudes draft. Things are good for them. But once these big team fights start to happen, they take team fight after team fight, and they capitalize. They kill 3. They go for a tier 2 tower. They kill tier 2 tower. 5 average dudes, they chase after that tier 2 tower, try to get some counter kills, but then they die on 4 more heroes. And from that point, the economy just descended out of control and Polo farmed so much. And they just got all these key team fight items on the 3 through 5 of Marty Chang Slayers that 5 average dudes simply couldn't afford. I mean, CB still has no items, Notorious still has no items, and Redondo and Jinx both had 1 item relatively early in the game, being the Blink on Tusk and the Force Staff online. And we simply saw that effect in these team fights. So, for Marty Chang Slayers, you have to be very proud of this series win. Obviously 2-0. They're currently 5-7 after that series. So they still have a lot more games to play, but if they can win some games, they are still in a position to make one of those bottom seeds of playoffs. On the flip side, for 5 average dudes, it's the exact same sort of story. They're 6-10, I believe, but now they have some wins to get, and they're running out of games to get those wins in. They're going to need to have a very good home stretch, pick up a lot of wins in these last few series if they want to make the playoffs. But overall, it was a good series. I was happy to be there for it. It was a fun one to cast. And I'd like to thank all of you for watching. If you want to catch some more commentary, I will be back. When will I be back? I will be here, okay, let's see here. Let's look at the series. I will be here tomorrow night at 9 p.m. EST to commentate Banana Hammock versus Pizza Dog. I will be joined by the esteemed Artorias for that cast. Look out for that one. I will be back Saturday as well for at 8 p.m. EST for Step Bro I'm Stuck taking on Pizza Dog. So that'll be a fun one to see. And then after that, on Sunday, I will be, as per usual, commentating the Toxic Tacos. This time they're taking on the Funny Zone at 9 p.m. EST. So see you the next 3 nights if you're down for watching some more Lads commentary either way. Thank you for watching, and have a great night.